shopgear.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
What's up, rock soldiers, and welcome back to All Bets Are Off with Robbie Vegas. So today we have an ECW original. You may know her as the Prodigette. She was associated with Johnny Swinger, and she came into ECW, I believe, in around 99, and this was just a fun conversation. She broke into the wrestling business in the mid-90s. So we have Angel Orsini. So she is on a time limit today, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to hop right into this call.
Yes, sir.
All right, Angel. So before we even start anything, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. You know I appreciate it very much.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad to help you, Robbie. You're a good egg. You're a good friend. And I want to see all my friends be successful and thrive in everything they do.
Well, thank you. I very much appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So why don't we start where you began? When did you know you wanted to be a wrestler?
When I got into the ring for the first time and started wrestling, I was a mixed martial arts professional fighter and a martial artist for several years, and had worked myself into Japan, and that's when I met Reggie Bennett, the original Glow Girl, Reggie Bennett, who approached me at the arena where I was fighting in Japan, and after talking to me, she was like, why aren't you pro wrestling? You would be great for that. And I was like, just have my heart on martial arts. I'm just, it's changed my whole life. I just want to take it as far as I can go with it. And she said, but they complement each other. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can do both. There's plenty of people who do both, especially here in Japan. So it sowed the seed in my mind, and when I came home, I immediately ran into a bunch of the pro wrestling guys, and I was like, hey, can you recommend somebody for me to go work out with and just get in the ring with and see if I like it or not? And they recommended Liz Chase to me. I was living in Fort Lauderdale. She was living in Royal Palm Beach, Florida. And so I went there, and I introduced myself to her, and I got in the ring, and I fell in love. I was in there, and I couldn't come out. Till the sun went down. I was in the ring, and it was like that every single time I would go.
Wow.
I just love it. Absolutely love it.
And what year was that?
That was 1996.
Okay. And you said that was in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in ECW?
So, being that I started my career in Florida, I kind of did the southeastern regional area the most as a newbie wrestler, and I ended up in Atlanta and working for Atlanta Championship Wrestling, which was owned by Teddy Long and Rocky Bolware, and they gave me a chance to wrestle for them with the guys. Mm-hmm. And so nobody else was doing that. This was in 98, 99. Mm-hmm. And so I started wrestling with the guys in the hardcore league part of that organization, and I became hardcore champion. And in the course of that build-up, that storyline, I had some really good matches with some guys, and I had them taped. So I sent in my tape to WWE, and I was able to hand deliver my tape to Tommy Dreamer in ECW. I had been invited. I was friends with Jason Knight and a couple of the other guys in ECW, but really Jason Knight was really pushing for me to get in. And I had been wrestling Lita in a couple of places. So Tommy Dreamer hired me from that tape and was like, yeah, you're in. And he was amazing. He really was. He had an idea. He had a full storyline for me, and I was just hugely honored. Of course, it was a lot of work. Even though he said yes, he was like, you still have to go through everything that the guys do. You have to come try out. You have to keep your nose to the grind, and there's no guarantee that this will happen, but this is what I would like to do. So if you basically do all the work, then that you could have this spot. So I busted my butt for months going and not getting paid and going and working out in the ring before each show with the guys. And then finally they were like, you know what? Paul said, okay, you can have your official tryout, bring somebody, and if you show up, then the thing we talked about will probably happen, as long as you don't screw it up, kid. And I had my tryout, and I nailed it, and voila, the next weekend I got to go out with Simon Diamond and Johnny Swinger and all the Misfits.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. And can you just give me just a little bit of what ECW was like on the road back then? Because I know it's a different time period now than it was when the original ECW was around. So what was that like for you?
It was nerve-wracking, and it was crazy. So it was nerve-wracking because when you're new, you're picked on by everybody for anything.
Right.
you wore green.
Yeah. Well, so that part hasn't changed.
No. And the thing that was awesome was I got treated like the guys did. It was no special treatment, which, really gave me a huge sense of family, and that, wasn't treated any different, because that's the way it should be. That's the right thing. And I appreciated that they were mentoring me at that level and not showing any difference, because as a wrestler, you need that. You need them to be hard on you so you learn locker room etiquette correctly, and otherwise you can't ever go further in this business if you don't learn those things. And because it was ECW and everybody knows, people were doing whatever.
Yeah, right.
It was crazy all the time. There was always some wacky person acting up. It was really like, the kids that should have been in military school.
Yeah, right.
Everybody was getting reprimanded. You have New Jack, you have the Sandman, you have Sabu. There's always nonsense going on because people were maniacs after the show was over and what they did, but always interesting stories, and that always made me feel good, like no matter how much trouble I think I might be in, I still didn't do that.
Yeah, right, yeah, very different. So now, when ECW went out of business and a lot of guys and girls were going over to WWE, did you have any kind of interest in doing that? Did you get any kind of calls? What was that like for you when that all went down?
Oh man, that was a really rough time for me because I ended up in a really bad car accident, and that's the reason why I didn't go, because it was planned. Like, yeah, we're all gonna go, and because Jazz was going, and Jazz and I had never really gotten to have like a feud. We had only just touched on it a little bit. So, being in that car wreck, I was paralyzed on half of my body. So I was in excruciating pain, and I had to really, if I didn't have my faith, I would have never made it. I'll be honest with you. My faith in God and believing that, listen, bad things happen to people. It's not because I'm a bad person or I did anything wrong. It rains on good people and bad people. And that's just life. You're alive and things can happen. Accidents happen. There's no real reason for that. So because of my faith, I was able to overcome it because my doctors told me I would never wrestle again. They were like, you'll be lucky if you could ever even have a jog. I had permanent nerve damage from my neck, from the middle of my back. I had dislocated ribs. I had dislocated in my hip. So I had serious muscle spasms, even sometimes on my face or on the soles of my feet. The pain was incredible. But thank God for martial arts and my faith, and I was able to, through discipline, just power my way through the pain. Because in all honesty, when they told me things like you'll never wrestle again, I didn't believe it. I didn't receive it. I said, no, I don't believe that. I can do anything with my mind. The imagination and my faith is according to how I live. So I'm willing to put in the work, and I will do it, and I will succeed. And I did. It took me a year, and I was wrestling, and it was, I did all my physical therapy myself. The only things I did from a medical point of view was go to a chiropractor after a certain point of my own powering through. I did my own yoga flows. I did my own physical therapy in the gym. I mixed in a little bit of everything, Tai Chi, Pilates, and I got myself to where I was walking, and it was terrible. It was like little 6-inch steps, right? Yeah. And excruciating pain and muscle spasms all throughout my body. But I was like, today, 6-inch steps, tomorrow, 1-foot steps, and I just kept, I would have inspirational music, and I would just focus on the music and not how I felt. And so it took me a year to get back to wrestling again. And then in 18 months, I held a title belt over my head in victory. So, yeah.
That's fast for an accident that bad. I would say that being in the ring at all in a year is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's really, I have to tell, you and everybody listening that your mind is so powerful. It's really, don't limit your imagination. Stay positive. Draw down that positive energy, because really you can overcome anything and everything. There are no limits.
I 100% agree with that. And I'm actually really glad that you brought up your faith, because I wanted to ask you about that. So you have a really strong faith in God, and you always have. And I want to know how that affected you and impacted you in the wrestling business, because that could be a very dark business at times.
Right. I've been a Christian. Well, I was raised Catholic, and I studied all different religions because I wanted to believe what I believed and understand and agree with that in a sense of integrity and genuineness. And so I studied all religions. That's been my hobby for my whole life. And in 1997, I came to the revelation that I am a Christian, and I do believe in Jesus Christ as the Messiah. And I got baptized again and everything, and I've been studying the Bible ever since. But I do study other things, and I am not a rigid, like some evangelical Christians seem to be in the world today. I am not a judgmental person. I do not believe that that is the message of Jesus Christ. I believe that it is a message of equality and a higher level, elevated level of love that transcends our humanity, and that has nothing to do with people's sexual orientation or their religion or the color of their skin or any of that. Mm-hmm. And I believe that we are called to love each other, and that we should strive to understand really, truly what that means. And part of that is you have to love yourself at that level. And if you don't, then it makes it hard to give to others without conditions or restrictions and limitations. And I believe that it means that every day I need to reflect and try to be the best version of myself that I am aware of and can have the potential to be. And that's my job. And if I do my job, then I can give to other people and be a channel of love and harmony and acceptance for others. And for that I think is my purpose. Mm-hmm. And when I'm clicked into my purpose, then I can be a conduit for other people to find their purpose and click into their place. And I think that is a very powerful place for all of us to be.
Absolutely. And you managed to keep that being in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really subjective because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I believe everything that happens in life is really, each person's perspective and attitude. So was it at times challenging? Yeah, definitely. There were opportunities I missed out on because I will never pose naked or do things that are, in my opinion, that I couldn't be proud of. That I have a different way of looking at it, and just because it's something that I wouldn't do doesn't mean it's bad and that nobody should do it at all. It's not a judgment or a reflection on anybody else, but I always want to do things that I can be proud of. I want to do things in a spirit of excellence and sincerity. So, yes, it's acting, and I don't mind. I've pretty much my whole career I've been a bad guy, so I don't have a problem with the acting part or being, pretending, but there's just certain things that I don't want to participate in, that's all.
Right, and that's 100% understandable. You got to do what's best for you and not just what everybody else wants you to do, especially in the wrestling business in that time period of the wrestling business, because ECW was rough.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got put through flaming table by Balls Mahoney.
Oh, jeez. You know what? Yeah.
Hey,
they were famous for doing...
a little fire extinguisher can't help.
They were famous for doing a lot of crazy things to the women on those shows. So, yeah, I get that for sure. And you mentioned, too, it's acting, which is a good segue for what you're doing now. So right now you're in the realm of acting and I believe directing. So how did that all start?
Oh, yeah. It's something that I really, really wanted to do for a long time. So I got the opportunity through a dojo that I train at to be in an action movie, and that was my first role. It's called Blood Mixed. We just had the premiere last week.
Congratulations.
In New York. Yeah, by Hit 'em Hard Films. So that was a lot of fun, and then right after I finished shooting that movie, I met my business partner, Christopher Nino, who is an award-winning filmmaker, and he has a heart to teach people filmmaking, and he really wants to actually have a school for teaching different aspects of film.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I want to learn. So we ended up working together on a project, and then after that, it was very successful, and we decided we were going to start our own company together. It's called Killers Club Productions.
I like that name.
And and in that, our goal is through entertainment, we want to convey certain messages that we feel society really needs right now, like acceptance and unity, and we want to, through the medium of comedy and action, begin to bridge the gap between different segments of society and really create a more inclusive society by having people in our films. We hire people that are of different religions, different sexual orientations, different color, different race, and we feel like that's the way that we want to contribute to society. We feel like that's really positive to have different types of people from different demographics in films is really important. People need to see themselves in your products, and by having it more diverse, then people start to become more accepting of difference.
Right.
Because really, the heart of the matter is, we're different. We're different on the outside. We maybe have different accents. We even use different types of language to express ourselves. But inside, in our heart, in our soul, we are the same. We all want the same things. We want peace. We want prosperity. We want opportunity. We want freedom of expression. And we want our children to have more of that than what we have.
Right.
And the truth is that people all over this world, in their heart and in their soul, they want the same thing. And through concentrating and focusing on that part of us, that will bridge the gap between different sects of religions and different demographics in society, and we'll start to focus on the ways that we're similar, acknowledge how we're different, don't ignore it, but understand that really at the root of it, we're speaking the same language.
I like that. I really do like that philosophy. That's very cool.
Thank you.
Now, with that, with all that you just said, do you have any comparisons with that as far as wrestling and what you're doing with wrestling? Because, I mean, there is a portion of wrestling that's acting and characters and things like that. Do you feel that you portray anything similar with wrestling, or is this just a completely new adventure for you?
No, actually, we'll be incorporating wrestling into what we're doing. We're just laying down the foundation right now.
Okay.
We definitely feel like there needs to be more diversity in wrestling, and also I think the way that people are used is really important. So I don't like how, like in the WWE, for example, it seems like when people are minorities, they get stuck in that you're this minority and you can only go this far. And I really used to get so aggravated with that for years and years. It's like, why can't you just treat the women like you do the guys? Why can't you just treat your black wrestlers the same way you treat your white wrestlers? Like, why do you have to treat them different?
Right.
Give them the same push. Let them thrive instead of keeping them in a box.
Right.
And now I feel like it's only just now finally starting to come to that place where it's like the other side of the line where, okay, now you're letting people, be outside the box a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been in this business since 1996, so, that's like a long time to wait for this to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So you've been on the inside waiting for this all along. So it probably seems a lot longer for you than it would be like just a fan. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I've been saying this about women since 2002, going, why is it still like this?
Right.
You know, it's like, this is stupid. The reason why is because really, from a capitalist point of view, you're limiting yourself instead.
Right,
you're
yeah.
saying only this certain segment of all the talent that I have is the talent that can make me money. And that's not true. It's a false narrative. Somehow you've brainwashed yourself into thinking that, but really.
Right. That's a good way to
There's
put it.
no reason why you can't open up these other streams of revenue for yourself. It's just your own, ignorance.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know that you're going to eventually have your own podcast, and that's going to be launching in the future. What kind of topics are you going to be tackling on that? Anything that we've touched on today, or?
Well, actually, we will be doing a podcast. We're going to do a morning podcast, and it's going to be like a morning meditations with me and doing some meditation, guided through meditation, some yoga, and a little bit of Tai Chi, and also some life coaching principles. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to be doing that. But we've actually, our overall goal has always been, when we started the company, was we're going to do media and every type of entertainment. So yes, we're doing films. We actually have some stuff that we're going to be doing into a series. And then we want to have our own channel, like a TV channel, with programming that'll be film and our series that we've put together. But we also want to have our own like radio channel as well.
Oh, very cool. So
yeah.
Well, you got your hand in everything.
Yeah. Our big project right now for the Killers Club is the Lollipop Gang. It's a comedy that we're still in production doing. And then the Killer Bees Society, which is going to be our action adventure genre. So I'm really excited about these. I think it's going to really put us on the map. They're both very different. And totally different audiences and everything. So, and that's our goal, is you're never going to have the same thing from us. We have whatever genre, when we approach it, our whole approach is how are we going to be completely different than what's out there already?
Right.
And that's where we start.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. So we have a documentary about women's wrestling that has been in production for a couple of years now.
Oh, wow.
And it's almost done, and that'll be released. Circle of Champions is going to be awesome. And we're so blessed. The people that are on there, I mean, some of them aren't here anymore. So it's really near and dear to my heart, because I so love the family people that I have in wrestling. I mean, I adore them. I just, they have changed me and helped mold me into the person I am, let alone the wrestler that I am, that I can never repay them for what they've contributed to my life. And my only desire is to take what they've given me, all of them together, and entertain wrestling fans when I'm in the ring, and entertain people with the knowledge that goes into these films and other products that we're creating in Killers Club, to just, because they deserve the very best. Like, I love all these people so much. They've made my dreams come true, and I just want to give back to them, because that's really all I have. Like the little drummer boy, right? all I have to give you is my song, but It's going to be an awesome song. I promise.
That's awesome. That's a great outlook on it too. So now, are you going to be getting back into the ring at all, or are you unsure of that right now?
No, I'm definitely am. Actually, we're.
Awesome.
I scheduled our next shoots for the products that we're in production with, so that I could actually take some time right now and get back in the ring and get back into my level of ring shape I need to be in to wrestle my style that I do.
Oh, I know. Ring wind is no joke.
Nope, I am an iron woman. I had that 64-minute match there in Boonton, New Jersey with Mercedes Martinez, and I want to do another Iron Woman match in my future at a certain point. So, I got to go. I'm crazy. I got ECW pumping through my veins.
That's true. Yep, that's true. You were an original. You weren't the remake.
Exactly. So, I need to have some Philadelphia street fights, and I got to get in. I got to get ready. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I have myself in a position where I put the time aside, and I will be in the ring saying, "How you doing?" Very, very soon, and it'll be posted on my Facebook and my Twitter. We do have Killers Club website up, but it's not officially launched. I'm having a little bit of a formatting issue with my photos that are going up. So, but it is killersclub.tv is the website, and that's Killers with an S. And when I launch Angel Orsini's website, my personal one, it'll be iamangelorsini.com. So,
Awesome. Very cool. So we're going to do one more wrestling related question, and then I'm going to have you plug all your social media and all that so that everybody can keep up with you and know what's going on and follow everything that we talked about today.
Okay.
So my final question before we get to your social media is going to be, do you still have a dream opponent that you haven't faced yet that you would like to?
Oh, definitely. So, I don't even know if these girls are still wrestling or not, but Sarah Del Rey. She works for WWE, I think. She's a trainer. I'd always wanted to have a match with her. And Madison Eagles, she's in Australia. So those two were two that I had never wrestled that I always wanted to wrestle.
Those are your two bucket list items?
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
I don't know if it's possible, but I would love that.
I mean, in the wrestling business, though, anything's always possible. Nobody's ever retired. Nobody's ever done. They always come back.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll see. Plus, there's a bunch of new girls out there. Well, I got to scope out yet. I've been paying attention a little bit, but we'll see. I'm stoked. I'm really excited, and I know that I have a lot more to give to not just the fans, but also the other women in wrestling now. So.
Yeah, you've been in the business for a long time, so I mean, the knowledge that you could pass along to others, especially up-and-comers that are just breaking in right now, is really important.
Yeah, I mean, you should never stop learning.
Yeah.
And, it's so important to, really wrestle as many different people as you can, because everybody's a little bit different, and you learn something from each person. Most definitely.
Oh, for sure. So I know you're super busy, so we're going to let you go here. But before we do, just let everybody know where to find you on social media, give them the websites again and all that, and just really plug anything that you want to plug. It's just, this is your time to talk about whatever you want.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me share with fans and have this platform to touch them and reach out to them. I really appreciate it. And
absolutely.
And I adore you, and I adore them. So stay in touch. The best way to stay in touch with me, I love Twitter. I am the Angel Orsini on Twitter. And my Facebook is also the Angel Orsini. It's a fan page, and I also have the websites. Now, my personal website is not up yet, but I have purchased the domain. It's IamAngelOrsini.com. And that's going to take you to Killers Club official website for right now, which is killersclub.tv.
Okay.
And that's the way to stay in touch with me, man.
All right, very cool. So thank you so much for doing this once again. I do truly appreciate it. And I know everybody's going to love this interview. It was a lot of fun. So thank you so much.
Oh, you are welcome. My pleasure. I love y'all. And just stay well, be well, and be the best you can be.
All right, Angel, you have a great day. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. So that was the Prodigette Angel Orsini, ECW original, director, actress, a little bit of everything. So I thought that interview was excellent. Angel has a great outlook on life, doing a lot of good for herself and a lot of good for those around her. And you can't ask for much more than that in a person. So I hope that you guys will check her out, follow her, keep up with her projects, her matches, and everything that she mentioned in the pod. And before I let you go, as always, please check the link in the description of this show for Insane Labs for all of your workout needs, whether you're a wrestler or just a regular gym rat. I know that you need supplements. We all do. So you have no excuse not to use these supplements. Our Vegas 30 gets you 50% off. That is a huge, huge, huge discount. Just follow that link. It is my specific link. And I hope you guys enjoy those products if you do use them. So if you do, let us know. Get in touch with us. Let us know that you like the products and that you tried them out. We'd like to hear from you and get some testimonies from you. So make sure you follow this podcast, rate it, subscribe to it, and we will catch you next time.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.
Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the Fat Man.
And the world-famous R-rated podcast is now on the Gear Network. The Wrestling Show with Sleazy and the Fat Man is classless and raunchy commentary on the wrestling business today. Our multiple hosts, including Sleazy the Fat Man, Chip Willett, and NEW owner Travis Kenning, give a differing take on news, rumors, reviews, and previews of the entirety of the worldwide pro wrestling market.
We do what we want, we say what we want, and we don't give a at all. That's just the way we go.
Check us out on the Gear Network.